What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for this really quick video, and today I'll be talking about my fix to save 2K. This one here is more of a barbershop talk only. It's Christmas break, so I'm just trying to get some rest and, get some thoughts out of my head. But trust me, this one here will make full sense. I'll talk about the main problem in 2K right now, and I will share my opinion about my super fix. I think it's still early for this kind of video, so who knows, maybe 2K would be able to watch this one. Or probably my opinion will be passed around and maybe they can implement this on future games or even on this current game. So make sure to watch it fully so it will make full sense. And please like the video so it can reach more viewers. And after watching, please let me know in the comment section what you guys think. So now let's get right into it. So recently I made a series of videos about RNG. So I kind of read a lot of opinions, and I even tried to look back on past 2Ks and realized all these opinions all comes down to whether the ideas are pro-simulation or pro-competitive standpoints. I think the main problem in 2K is that the community is too divided. You got some players who are on the simulation side, and there are some players who are on the competitive side, or we can call it the arcade side. On 2K, it is really divided. In terms of shooting, simulation side players think that the highest 3-point make percentage should float around 40 to 45% only, and the not so good players should be sitting around 25%. Which makes sense because the best shooter of all time, which is Steph Curry, according to Basketball Reference, is shooting around 42.5% on his entire career. And usually, below average NBA players shoot around 25% or lower. Now, on the competitive side players, they believe that the highest should be around 75%, and 25% is considered not really that good. Which is understandable on a competitive standpoint. Even outside basketball, if you're successful for only 4 times out of 10, that doesn't really look good. So it has to be close to 75%. So for them, good players should float around 75% or even higher. So that's how divided the community is in terms of shooting. So imagine if you put them on one game and let them share their opinions or feedback about how the game should be, it's going to be chaos. There's no way they would agree to something. And on the finishing side of things, the simulation side players believe that even you timed the block really well and the shooter just took a contested layup, they believe that you should still have a chance to make it. Which makes sense on a simulation standpoint because we all see it all the time in real life. Sometimes a team would play really good defense for the whole 24 seconds, and somehow the shooter made a fadeaway off the backboard 3 at the buzzer. Or sometimes some would take a Hail Mary and still goes in. If I remember correctly, I think this was a couple of weeks ago, there were like 3 half-court shots in one day in the NBA. And on the competitive standpoint, they believe that if you time a block really well and you have high block rating and the finisher didn't really time it well, there should be no way that the shot will go in. Because they believe that if you did a good thing, you should be rewarded, and if someone did a bad thing, he should be punished, no matter what. Which is understandable on a competitive standpoint. Again, imagine if you let those players play the same game or share any opinion or share any idea on how the game should be. It's going to be chaos. Now, for the past 2 years, 2K wants to find the middle ground between simulation and arcade. And I think so far, it is not working. I think the reason for this is in terms of 2K, arcade style of play and simulation style of play are 2 different worlds. And no matter what 2K does, it's really hard to satisfy both worlds. And now you might say, Toots, it is a basketball game, it should be 100% simulation, right? I know what you mean, but the thing is, the moment a sports game is played online, especially if it's massively played, I think 2K is the biggest sports game that is being played online in terms of numbers of players, demography, and continuity. So in that way, there should be an element of arcade and competition. So I think that puts NBA 2K in a weird position. NBA 2K is having a hard time navigating those 2 principles. With some games like Fortnite, it is easy to decide. You got guys building houses while shooting each other mid-air, so that's arcade-ish of course. And with games like PUBG, you got shrinking world with guys with frying pans shooting at each other. Of course, it has to be arcade. That is not the case on 2K, it's really hard to decide. And you have to factor in age range as well. This is my analytics on my channel. I think in some way it could reflect on the population of players. It is ranging from 13 years old up to 60 plus years old. The greater part of the population though is from 18 to 44 years old, which is probably has 3 to 4 generation gaps, which is still a big age range. So imagine letting them play one game and let them share opinions about something. It's going to be chaos. Even me, I'm a stat-based channel and we all know stats means reality, so in some way I'm pro-simulation. But since I'm a content creator as well and I understand competition and how big 2K online community is, So in some way, I understand the arcade-ish side of things as well. So even me, I'm finding it hard to decide on how this game should be played in terms of finding the middle ground between simulation and arcade. So that's the whole situation right now. And I might ask, Choots, then what's the solution? Of course, always the best thing is to create better servers, but let's be realistic here and let's assume that they can't really do anything about it. So aside from that, I think the best and most realistic solution is to create two modes. One for simulation and one for arcade. So basically, when you enter My Career, you have to select which mode you want to play. It's either simulation mode or arcade mode. Each modes will have everything that other one has. So basically, they will have their own rec, their own pro-am, their own park, and all those modes. And the most important thing is they will have their own sliders. For simulation mode, they will have more realistic sliders with more RNG. And for arcade, it will be tuned for more competitive gaming experience or close to zero RNG. The best thing about this route is it will create more peaceful community. Yeah, there will be some sort of division, of course, but I think that's the only way to do it. 2K has been trying to find the middle ground between these two parties for a lot of years, and I think it's really hard to follow one game that can cater both. And one more good thing about this route is it's not that work extensive. Basically, it's just like creating two rooms with respective sliders. To be honest, this thing alone plus some minor tweaks in the gameplay could be 2K26 already, and everyone will be satisfied about it. But of course, there'll be some tricky parts when you implement this, like the game will need to figure out what's the best VC reward difference or rep progress difference between two modes, because if they don't balance it out correctly, maybe one mode will be used for tanking and it will be overpopulated. But at the end of the day, they can tweak it after a season if something is not balanced. There could be some other tweaks that they can do in here. The most important thing here is make one server for simulation and one for arcade. Just separate those two player base. They can't be in one game anymore. So if you want to add something on this idea, you can just leave it in the comment section down below. Or if you have some other fresh new ideas, how can 2K navigate through this problem, just let me know in the comment section down below as well. So that's all for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.